Day 3 of the daily uploads. Now, in today's little sit down, I'm going to run you guys through how a busy entrepreneur made more progress in just 7 weeks than he had made in the past 4 years of him trying with his fitness journey, and all it took is one simple lesson. Now, the reason why I'm able to tell this story is because this is a client that I helped. His name's Ethan. He's an entrepreneur online. He helps community owners, community builders, business owners with high ticket ads. And in the last few years, he has been trying to run his business, and business simply took over his life. The calendar got busy, clients started to roll in, and obviously helping clients, with that comes serious responsibility to get them the simple best results possible. And because of that, his fitness journey and his prioritization of fitness had to take a massive... He hit the brake hard on in his car, essentially, and that led him to struggling to make progress, going from consistency to inconsistency states constantly over the past 4 years of him trying. And the funny thing is, he was in shape before as well. He got in really good shape, and then because the business took over, he completely sort of lost that state of consistency and routine and progress with fitness. And it got to a point where he was so on and off the gym in terms of his consistency and inconsistency, he started to develop the limiting belief that, okay, clearly fitness and business don't go together and this is never going to happen for me. Even though he really, really wanted to make it happen, he simply just thought that it was not going to happen, because if you did one, then the other would have to be sacrificed, and vice versa. And when I first spoke to Ethan, he really made these beliefs sort of prominent, and he put them at the forefront of his reasoning as to why he hasn't necessarily got in shape and why things have sort of unfolded in the way they have. What he was doing made it really clear to me that there was one thing that he was missing. Now, as soon as we got to work, this one lesson that I helped him essentially put at the front of his mindset and his paradigm around fitness made him more progress in just 7 weeks, as I said at the start of the video, than he had made in the past 4 years of him trying. The biggest lesson is simplicity. That's it. And sometimes the most important lessons can be the most simple ones, pardon the pun. It was apparent to me when we first started speaking that he was overcomplicating everything. He was trying to go to the gym 6 times a week without working out if he can even stick to the gym 2 times a week or 3 times a week at first. He was trying to stick to these diets. He was trying to stick to these perfect regimes that he had made for himself. So the hypothesis here was clear. It wasn't a knowledge problem. It was just an execution of that knowledge problem. And for a busy entrepreneur, if you are trying to get in shape, the number one thing that you must do, which I've helped my clients do, is keep things simple. It was apparent when I first spoke to him that he was overcomplicating everything. When I walked him through exactly what he was meant to do every day of every week for the first phase of the program, it was all about simplicity. It was all centered around simplicity. And the ironic thing is, because he had struggled with consistency for so long, I said to him that we need to think of the long term, because the gym isn't a quick game. It is a long term game, because we can't change our biology quickly. We've got to give our body and our biology a reason to change over time. So we've got to make sure that we can execute these habits consistently over time, because they're not just going to happen overnight. You know, you're not going to grow big biceps overnight. You've got to deserve them. You've got to earn them. You've got to give your body a reason consistently, daily, weekly, for months and years to get to where you want, right? So the first thing that I helped him understand is that you need to think in years, not weeks or months. One of the most important things that I helped him understand is that in order to do this, we actually don't want to try and make progress first. Like, in this time where I was working with him, it's ironic because he made more progress than he had made in the past 4 years, but our main goal wasn't even to make progress. It was just to integrate these habits consistently into his life. And in order to do that, you need to keep things simple. Now, By simple, you're probably wondering what I did and how I helped him. For the first 4 weeks of us working together, I mapped out what he needed to do every week, and in those weeks, what he needed to do every day. In order to get him consistent, and obviously keep things simple, I dumbed down the action steps that he needed to do so much to the point where he said this in the interview. Since we've been working together, what has surprised you the most about the process overall, in terms of how we've got you from that before situation to all of a sudden having that productivity, increasing your output with your business, showing up better for not only your business but for others in life as well? What has surprised you the most about it?
I think the foundations phase was a very big unlock and different approach to the whole system. The vast majority of people on the internet trying to teach fitness and how to get in shape, they give you the what and they give you the why, and they say like you've got to train this many times, you've got to eat this much, you've got to cook this many times. But it's all just at once. And they don't explain to you that if you try to do it all at once, you are going to have those oscillations. Whereas the second we started working together, the first thing that you did was you gave me the full plan of like, hey, this is what the next 6 months are going to look like.
Mm.
Excuse me. You're going to spend this long in the foundations phase, then in the building phase, and all of these things. And when we did it that way, and it wasn't just 0 to 100, but instead it was, hey, we're going to try just 3 meals a day. We're going to try just this many liters of water. You're going to try get this many steps. We did it in such little baby pieces that I kind of felt like, okay, I've got to do this because otherwise I'm just pathetic. Like I can't not stick to this week's stuff because it's just so easy. And I think that combined with the accountability and encouragement from you when things went well or badly made it very enjoyable to kind of stick to it. And it felt like progressing in a video game where everything just kind of gradually increases instead of this huge jump, which we all try and inevitably fail at.
And by the way, if you want to watch this interview, it's a pinned video on my channel, which you can go and watch. Full breakdown, Ethan and I speaking about exactly how he did this, what he was thinking, what he thought of the coaching processes before and after, his mindset, and everything like that, so you can go and watch it in your own time. I dumbed down his action steps so simply to the point where he actually felt a bit pathetic and silly if he didn't take action. And a key thing there is that he said the foundations phase was the unlock for him. And that was the phase where the focuses were simplicity and integration of habits. We didn't even think of progress. They were the two things, and that is what you need to focus on if you want to make progress or start to make progress as an entrepreneur. And I did things so simply to the point where I told him to just go to the gym a select amount of times a week that suited his schedule and just complete the exercises and do this sets and reps. You don't need to track anything. You don't need to focus on lifting heavy. You don't need to focus on lifting intensely. Just focus on going to the gym when you're required to based on what I've set for you, and just get it done. I didn't care if his form was bad. I didn't care if he lifted light. If anything, they're good things because that can show him where he needs to improve over time. But the main thing that we took away was the fact that he went to the gym. That was it. And it's through breaking down your wins and breaking down your goals like that so simply, it actually becomes easier to take action than to take inaction. Because obviously as an entrepreneur, you have high standards for yourself. If you set a goal for this week to be so simple as, for example, just go to the gym 2 times a week and complete 5 exercises and do 2 sets of 10 reps for each exercise in the gym, you're obviously going to do that because of how simple it is. So that's the main message I want you guys to take away from this video. And I want to give you guys an absolutely fantastic example. And I guess this is kind of obviously this is kind of like a chat, the vibe of the YouTube video. And I'm going to keep going like this because I think it's really, I kind of like the style and I haven't really done it before. So I'm just going to test it. But Yeah, what I'm doing at the moment, and just to put this the importance of simplicity into perspective, obviously I'm a business owner, right? And my business is helping entrepreneurs with fitness, which is exactly why I'm making these videos. I have been in a gym for over 5.5 years, slowly coming up to 6 years now, and I've achieved feats such as gaining over 60 pounds of lean mass, completely transforming my physique, benching over 315 pounds at the ripe age of 18, and I'm 21 now, and all of these things. But my goal this week isn't to lift heavy. My goal this week isn't to necessarily make progress, but my goal this week, despite me being 5.5 years in the gym, is just showing up to the gym. And you may be asking why that is. Simply just because I'm changing the time that I train at, right? And I understand the long-term mindset. I understand that if I want to get the results I want, I've got to take actions every day that are in alignment with who I want to be in the next few years, right? And that is exactly how you should act as well, whether that's, take actions today for the version of you tomorrow or next week or next month or next year, whatever. The same sort of mindset applies. And simply, it would be stupid for me to push myself hard, because I'm changing the time I train at to the morning, and my body isn't used to acting against resistance, or in other words, lifting weights and going to the gym early in the morning. So I need to get my body used to that. I need to acclimatize my body to those circumstances and that change in my circadian rhythm and what I do with my time at that specific time in the day. And if I was to push myself hard and do all of this stuff at 100%, it would simply be stupid. But the goal is just to get 1% better, and that is exactly your mindset and what it should be as an entrepreneur. Now, I know that you probably think like that in business. It's time to think like that in fitness as well. So focus on keeping things simple. Dumb down the action steps so much to the point where action becomes easier than inaction, because it then challenges your basic standards and what you hold yourself to. Another example, I told Ethan to just eat 3 to 4 meals a day, and I told him to keep them healthy, and I told him to make sure they're easily accessible. I didn't give him a certain amount of meals to eat. I just told him to eat whatever was easiest, and obviously I gave him a routine in terms of how to plan in advance, so he just wasn't thinking on the spot and decision fatigue, which is super, super valuable for an entrepreneur and conserving that decision energy as well. So I obviously made sure I told him how to plan properly, but the point here is that it just makes things stupidly simple to the point where he actually felt pathetic if he didn't take action. And as I said, ironically, we didn't even focus on making progress in this time, but because we did these things in the most simple way possible and with the mindset of the long term, he made more progress in the short term than he did in 4 years. So that's where I want to leave this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope you can take something away from this video. If you want to learn more from me and you want more of these videos, and you want to watch them, I'd really appreciate that. And if you enjoyed this, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment down below your thoughts on what you think or how you're going to take action on making things simpler for you. And as I said, if you want to stay around, make sure to drop a subscription for more like this. And if you want to shortcut the process of trial and error, and you want me to build you a personalized plan and make sure you keep things as simple as possible so you can stop second guessing, not waste the next 6 months of your life, and purely make progress, then I'm going to leave a link where you can book a call with one-on-one applications down in the link below, where you can get results like Ethan and where you can get results like Corey, and you can potentially be next.